world was spellbound. They arrived in shimmering ships, their beauty so radiant that even the news anchors stammered through their broadcasts. The Kelithari, tall, elegant, with eyes like liquid silver, had come in peace. They called themselves scholars, seekers of knowledge, eager to exchange cultures with the people of Earth. And well, humanity had never been so collectively flustered. The United Nations barely finished asking, "Are there any dangers we should," before getting lost in the Kelithari's dazzling smiles. Soon a swap program was established. Groups of humans would live among the Kelithari and vice versa. The aliens were endlessly polite, their voices soothing as a lullaby, their presence more intoxicating than fine wine. Nobody questioned why the humans sent to their world never wrote back. Nobody except for one. 11-year-old Ellie Matthews had always been a little too sharp for the adults around her. While her classmates swooned over their new Kelithari cultural ambassadors, she was the only one who thought it was weird that Mrs. Rodriguez, their school librarian, had vanished a day after letting a Kelithari ambassador stay in her home, leaving behind nothing but a strange pile of ash near her favorite reading chair. So Ellie did what any resourceful and witty kid would do. She spied. She shadowed a Kelithari named Lord Valen. Seriously, who went around calling themselves Lord, hiding behind trash cans and ducking under tables. One night she followed him into an empty alleyway where she watched in horror as he placed a hand on a man's shoulder, then slowly, beautifully, drained the life right out of him. The man collapsed into a neat little pile of ash, while Valen sighed dreamily, glowing with stolen energy. Ellie gasped. Valen turned. She bolted. "Mom! Dad! The aliens are eating people!" Ellie burst into the living room, panting. Her mother barely glanced up from her phone. "Ellie, that's not a nice thing to say." Her dad chuckled. "Sweetie, the Kelithari are our friends. Maybe lay off the sci-fi books for a while." "Then explain the ash piles," Ellie threw her hands up. Her mom sighed. "Ellie, it's just cultural differences. Maybe they cremate their friends differently." Ellie's eye twitched. Cremate their friends differently? The more she tried, the less they listened. Teachers, neighbors, even the mayor. Every single adult was too enchanted to believe anything bad about the Kelithari. It was like trying to convince a dog that bacon was poisonous. Ellie knew she had to take matters into her own hands. If there was one thing Ellie had learned from fantasy books, it was that vampires always had a weakness. These ones weren't allergic to sunlight or garlic, but they had to have some Achilles heel. She spent days watching them, observing, gathering clues. Then she found it. The Kelithari, for all their otherworldly perfection, had one tiny, absurd, utterly ridiculous flaw. Ellie put her plan into motion at school assembly, where 3 Kelithari ambassadors stood on stage, preparing to give another hypnotic speech. She took a deep breath and pressed play on her phone. From the gymnasium speakers, a sound blared forth, loud, jarring, and inescapable, the screech of an old-school dial-up internet connection. Instantly, the Kelithari let out unearthly shrieks, their elegant forms trembling. The audience gasped as the once dignified beings cringed, clutched their heads, and fell to their knees in agony. The noise, high-pitched, erratic, ugly, was the exact opposite of their perfect, harmonious existence. Their bodies shimmered, flickering between dimensions like a bad TV signal. And then, poof! 3 piles of glowing silver ash settled onto the stage. A stunned silence filled the gym. Then from the back, a single clap. Then another. And suddenly the entire student body erupted into cheers. The spell was broken. With their secret exposed, the Kelithari fled Earth, unable to withstand humanity's greatest weapon, awful, outdated technology. The world rejoiced. Songs were written about Ellie. Memes were made. Governments swore to ask at least one serious question before signing deals with intergalactic visitors. Ellie, now famous, was interviewed on live TV. "So, Ellie, any final words of wisdom?" the reporter asked. Ellie grinned at the camera. "Never trust someone who's too good looking, and always keep a backup of annoying sounds. You never know when you'll need them." And as the old saying goes, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is, even more so when it comes to alien elven women.